same all around. Because for me, because Arsenal have always been such a roller coaster. You know, we went through the whole invincible kind of era into, oh shit, mediocre. Now we're going desperate. I know we're starting to climb again. It's like, I was at home watching the game this morning and I was, I can't wait. I can't wait. There's not a fan in the stadium, but
I think what you said there, pal, I think that the fans, true Arsenal fans, are really passionate about the club, and I don't think it's like that at other clubs. And the thing that stands out to me is if you ask other fans of other clubs, guaranteed 80% of them will tell you we don't like Arsenal.
Oh, absolutely.
Where I can't sit here and say I like United.
Except for Spurs.
I hate them. I hate United even worse than Spurs. And
that's something people don't get over in England, I think.
Yeah. You have to be Spurs.
We just grew up with such a big...
Yeah, I hate my United.
The Ferguson...
Like, I give them respect. I'd be the first to stand up and say fair play to Man United for their success. And I say that Ferguson is a great manager and they have great player. To me, Paul Scholes is one of my favourite players of all time.
I would say the same. One of the best midfielders ever was.
Yeah, I love him. Yeah. And I'd be the first to say all that. But that's not to stop me from saying I hate it.
That's okay. That's fair enough.
So, there's obviously a bit of jealousy there as well, I suppose. But when you look back, you look at the Arsenal United's fixture list, the hatred between the two clubs, the players, the managers.
Competition.
You don't have that anymore.
Yeah.
2 years ago, I saw Lacazette lifting Lingard up off the ground from attacking. What the fuck is that all about? He's a Man United player. Step on him when he's on the fucking ground.
I completely... what you just kind of described there is... You're right. And you know what? As much as... And I don't say I hate him, but... Growing up, I was kind of more or less kind of taught to hate... Well, not taught to hate. Let me retract that statement. I was never taught to hate anybody, but... As an Arsenal fan, in an Arsenal house, watching Arsenal versus Man United, we're kind of...
Yeah.
We didn't like Roy Keane in our house, and he was Irish.
Yeah.
And, but when you look at Roy Keane now...
Oh, yeah, he's a legend.
I look back and I go, Jesus, I really understand Roy Keane now.
Yeah.
He's the only one, as a pundit, that really, genuinely, speaks his mind.
Yeah,
Graham Souness can piss in the wind for us. For me, he's terrible.
Yeah.
But I think Roy Keane is spot on with everything he says.
Roy Keane,
That's celebrating fourth spot.
Yeah.
Remember when Arsenal done that against... When Spurs were going for a couple of years back.
And we celebrated after.
We were celebrating, and he was going, why are you celebrating? You're celebrating fourth spot, that's
See, this is where I'm coming from. The man is 100% right. Because first is first. Like, there's a friend of mine that I know, he's a news over in Arsenal and stuff like that. But me and him, we speak. When I speak about Arsenal, let me get this straight now. Because people do say, Kyle this, Kyle that. But I'm telling you, when I speak of Arsenal, I speak of them to win league titles. Win Champions League titles, because we are beat bigger club than what Real Madrid, Barcelona and all the rest of them are. We are a huge club. We are supported right across the world. This is a global club here. We're not talking about a mediocre club. And we're run by a crowd of, and I have to mind what I say, but the sooner the better Kroenke sells the club to someone that is interested, because at the moment it's a disgrace what's going on at the moment. The club is upside down, and
let's come to that.
Come back to that
part. Towards the end, right?
Yeah.
And I don't want to kind of cut across you, but I did want to come back to Adam. I wanted to kind of see where you were with
favorite memory.
Your favorite memory. Like, I mean, it doesn't have to be it doesn't have to be like an Arsenal win. It can be, it's hardly going to be an Arsenal defeat, but it can be an Arsenal moment. What do you think would be your favourite?
Winning the league in Old Trafford.
Oh yeah.
Just for what that did for me. All of my friends are Man United fans, and it was constantly. It was always just like they were picking on you. You know, when we weren't winning.
Yeah.
We were always we were winning. You know what? We won the league in '98.
And '99.
No, United won it back then, like 2 seasons in a row. Then we got it. But it was like there was a.
We won the double.
They controlled the '90s.
Yes,
absolutely, yeah.
And winning that league in Old Trafford just meant everything to me. Going into school the next day was getting the bragging rights, you know. It's not something we got often, like.
But even when we did, we didn't brag about it.
No, we
That's-
didn't. But,
that's the difference.
But that night, I never forget. Me, you, and my dad went around the town in the car, beeping the horn, jerseys out the window,
Daily.
and it was just something. Then the three of us together, like that, we always kind of.
You're right. It was 98, 99, because in 99, United won the treble.
United won the treble.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I wouldn't mind.
2002 now we won it in Old Trafford.
2002 won it in Old
1-0.
Trafford.
I admit, as an Arsenal fan, right here, right now, that when I watched that game, the Champions League, I shouted for Man United, and I'll tell you why. Because they were English. It was the only English club that we knew that were in the final. As much as I hated, I supported them in the final. Because Bayern Munich, do you remember? They were celebrating before the whistle was blown.
Yeah, well, I was kind
I
of.
know it was
I was
United,
kind of
but
Bayern Munich.
I remember my dad did the same thing. He was like, "Oh, you know, Solskjaer, Sheringham, great win for United. You can't
It was
deny
great.
that.
It
There were
was
great
great.
football teams back then.
But back
Great
then,
rivalry.
I was raging in a way like we could have won the league title that year back.
Of
Like
course, yeah.
people talk about United winning the treble. We lost out the league title by 1 point. We fucked up against Leeds.
Sickener.
Then Bergkamp missed the penalty. The last kick of the ball in the FA Cup semi-final. He would have scored that goal, Man United would never won that treble. Because that was the last kick of the ball. Arsenal went into the final of the FA Cup. Instead of that, went into extra time, and Patrick Vieira gave Giggs the ball, and the rest is
That's
history.
right, yeah. And he ran the field.
And he ran the field. And then
Scored a goal this
he
season.
goes out then against Bayern Munich, and he scores 2 goals the last minute of a Champions League final.
But look,
Now,
that's the
and
end
fair
of the
play
league.
to him. And they went on and won the treble. But when people talk about United win the treble, I always say, yeah, and fair play and great achievement, probably never be done again. But by Jesus, we should have won the league title in the FA Cup. We should have won the double that year.
I definitely, yeah, I agree with that point, but I don't think we should take away the fact that, you know, United also had a great team too.
Okay.
As much as, you know, there was that
Yeah.
rivalry there, I think you have to hand it to
Yeah.
Ferguson. I
Oh,
think
you
he
have
did a
to.
great job,
Yeah.
and I think what's missing in the league now is our kind of managers like Ferguson, because, you know, Wenger had his by the cherry up to the point, and then obviously things went
The thing I
sour.
liked about Ferguson was though that no matter who you were, if you weren't up to it, you're out the door. And he didn't care who you were.
Well, look at what's happened now with Ozil, right?
Yeah.
There was absolutely no way that stuff would happen at Man United.
Not
Ferguson
anymore.
was there.
Ferguson, he would have been gone.
You'd have got a boot in the eye.
Yeah.
You know, when Beckham got it.
Yeah.
You
He would
know,
have been gone out the
they
door.
didn't
That's
want
it.
that kind of, you know, the money kind of
Yeah.
destroyed kind of football in a way. But let me ask you this then, right? Throughout the decades, or decade for you, is it? Decade or decades? Decades, I suppose.
Yeah.
Watched a lot of good players at Arsenal come and go, which
Yeah.
is heartbreaking. Out of all the people that have come in, who do you reckon personally is your favourite ever Arsenal player? Let me go to you first, Ed. I have a feeling we're all going to have the same, but
The
let me ask
Iceman,
you. The Iceman, Mr. Bergkamp.
number 10.
Why?
Just everything about him. He just oozes class. Everything about him. His touch, his style, the way he is off the pitch. Just, all I can say about him is that I love the man. He's the great, in my opinion, he's one of the greatest footballers of all time, and probably the greatest to play in the Premier League. My favourite of all time to play in the Premier League anyway. And I'd have him, he'd be the first name, if I was to look back over all the teams, he'd be the first name I'd have on the team sheet.
Number 10.
People always try to compare Ozil to him, not a patch.
I think that's a fair,
Ah,
fair
pass.
analogy there. I know about you, and the way you're looking at me now, you're probably going to say something similar. What do you think, Kyle?
Yeah. I'd watch a lot of the players again. But the greatest to me,
There can be only one.
is Dennis. To me, Dennis Bergkamp, right?
Yeah.
But again, that's no disrespect now to all the other great players.
Absolutely not. No, it's just purely
It's just purely, that's my
preference.
opinion.
Yeah.
Like Thierry Henry, how can you write that man off? Like, pure genius.
He broke my heart.
Thierry,
Yeah.
with the handball against Ireland?
Well, Ireland is shite.
Or the
Um,
one to Barcelona? Or
I'd probably be shot for saying something like that. No, I mean, no, yeah, when he left that thing.
I'd say The only time he kind of hurt me as an Arsenal fan, and again he's only human, you have to understand that. But that Champions League final, the Marshall scored a hat-trick that night. He had so many chances to score. I remember 3 blatant chances he had, and he blew the 3. If he would have scored one of them chances, we would be 2-0 up, game was won. But instead of that, I'm not going to blame Thierry Henry for that. Thierry Henry is a great player. The second greatest in Arsenal's history. Dennis Bergkamp is the greatest.
Bergkamp.
Now I love Robert Perez. Perez is a genius to me.
Wasn't the same player when he got hurt.
When he got hurt, he was the same player. I'll tell you a quick story. Highbury, the way Highbury is now with the apartments. So the gardens is like Highbury. That used to be where the pitch was. And there's this little chair in the corner on the left wing. And that's the only chair in the whole place. And one day, a fan went in, and he was on his own, looking around, and he spotted Bobby Perez sitting on the chair, on his own. And outside the Emirates Stadium, they have these kind of plaques going right around the stadium of each player, great players, and a little story from the fans. But this fan wrote in, and they have it outside the stadium. And the fan said, I walked over to Perez. I was watching him, reminiscing him going up and down the wing. I walked over and I said hello to him. I should have said thank you. Because you will never see anyone like him again.
Yeah, gentleman.
Left wing, down the left wing. My God, what a player.
Touch of class.
Class! I just love the man. But again, Bergkamp is definitely the best, in my opinion, because of his touch, his control of the ball, his vision of the game.
I come to that, yeah.
I totally agree with Adam, and I've had this argument plenty of times. Without doubt, he's the greatest foreign player ever to play in the Premier League. Nobody can touch him. I don't care who they are, who you mention. And as well as that, he actually brought Arsenal to a different level, globally.
Yeah.
And a lot more fans supported Arsenal, started to support Arsenal because of the arrival of Dennis Bergkamp. Because I remember before the Bergkamp arrival, yes, we were a big club, but we're not to what we are today. And I believe because of Bergkamp becoming an Arsenal player, we started to get more and more global.
It attracted players to come in.
And then it started attracting more players. Now I know that
Wenger would have had a big part in that as well after.
Yeah, because of Bruce Rioch,
That's right,
Bruce Rioch was the one that
he signed him, didn't he?
Well, a lot of people say that Bruce Rioch signed, but Bruce Rioch didn't sign him. People get that confused. It was David Dean got Dennis Bergkamp to Arsenal, not Bruce Rioch. What the fuck did Bruce Rioch know about football? Coming from Bolton, he didn't even know who Dennis Bergkamp was properly. David Dean tracked down Bergkamp. David Dean was the man that got Bergkamp in. And David Dean is another man that's never mentioned in the history of Arsenal Football Club. He doesn't get the recognition that the man should get. He did so much for Arsenal Football Club. I love David Dean back at Arsenal. That's not going to happen. But Bruce Rioch then was there. And what happened to Bruce Rioch? Gone. Why? Because he was fucking useless, that's why. But Bergkamp was there, and he is, without doubt, the greatest player ever to wear the Arsenal jersey, in my opinion. What about you, Pat?
Oh no, hands down, Dennis Bergkamp for me. There's no questions. There's not even a, I wouldn't even pause to even think about that. For me, Dennis Bergkamp has always been the most attractive, beautiful footballer in our time. I think, I don't think there's another footballer out there. And this is, I'm going to put it on the record. Even Messi, great player, brilliant. Different types of players. But for me, Bergkamp with his touch and vision, he was 10 steps ahead of everybody else. And I remember it was an FA Cup game where he took the ball down his chest and he did like a little turnover on the ball and he chipped it out. I think it was against Sunderland actually. Southampton. He just turned on the ball and flicked it out around, and he just gone there after he.
The celebration, remember that one?
That was against Sunderland.
Sunderland.
That was against Sunderland.
Yeah, it was Sunderland, yeah.
And he walked over like that.
And I remember watching that. I tell you the truth, I remember watching that actually on Match of the Day and I was up here actually in my granddad's, and my granddad was an United fan, he had Arsenal, but I remember he stood up and went, "Good Lord, you know, there's some goal," and it was from that moment, Bergkamp, and then just over the years, the touch, the finish, the time. Remember, the ball came in from the wing, and the player was here, and he caught it on his right,
Yeah.
it came over his head, top
I'm
corner. And then the Newcastle one.
Was the Newcastle the Newcastle goal to me? I remember being up in the local pub, Shenanigans. Brendan Robinson was the manager at the
People
time.
couldn't understand how he did it.
And we were upstairs watching that match. I'll never forget it. And that happened. That goal happened. To me, it's the greatest Premier League goal I ever seen. To me.
Hands down.
Yeah.
I actually spilled over a table full of drink. And Brendan Robinson barred me from Shenanigans.
I can just.
Anytime Arsenal was on, I was not allowed into Shenanigans. There was 3 pubs in town that I was actually barred from that I wasn't allowed into watching Arsenal match.
Because you were such a passionate Arsenal.
So just pure passion, just pure out and out passion. And it's just the way I am. It's in my DNA.
I think it's when you look at it, from people who are going to be listening to this, go, "Oh, look at these guys, they're all going with Bergkamp," but they say, "Oh, why not Thierry Henry? Why not Ray Parlour?" Or they don't understand. Ray Parlour was a bad analogy there, right? Ray was a good player, but
But the thing is, though, Pat, you'd be very surprised, like, at the audience that listens to this, if you have 100 Arsenal fans, you'd be surprised the percentage of those Arsenal fans that will actually agree with us that Dennis Bergkamp. Bergkamp is, if he's not number 1, he'd be in people's number 2.
Yeah, I think for playmaking and for magic, I think it's definitely Bergkamp.
Absolutely.
For scoring goals, it's Thierry Henry.
You talk to
I've
Thierry
never seen
Henry.
a player take on a player like Henry.
Yeah.
His speed,
But sure,
agility,
and
quickness.
Completely different players as well, but they fed off each other.
But sure, Thierry Henry was the first to turn around and say Dennis Bergkamp was the greatest player I ever played with.
Yeah.
How many goals did Dennis Bergkamp make for Thierry Henry in the season? From passes. Unbelievable. Just pure genius.
So, we've established the history behind
And
being
by the
an
way,
Arsenal fan.
By the way, just to make it clear, we just mentioned Dennis Bergkamp and we just mentioned Thierry Henry. And there's 2 statues of those 2 players outside the Emirates Stadium. That's all you need to know. There's also Tony Adams.
That's right.
That's all you need to know. You talk about the greatest players in the history of the game.
Well, Tony Adams is referred to as Mr. Arsenal, right?
Mr. Arsenal,
Yeah.
greatest centre back ever to play for Arsenal, in my opinion.
Do you think?
No one can touch him.
Greatest captain.
Do you know what?
Greatest captain and centre back.
Yeah, maybe it's just because